Hi, I'm Bianca Dux, Executive Producer at ITC. Today I'm joined by John Morley, APAC CEO, Strategy and Tech at Aon. John, thank you so much for sitting down with me today.
Pleasure, thank you.
How are you enjoying ITC HS so
Loving
far?
it so far, actually, yes. No, I mean, it's always a great energy event, and sometimes we go the whole year and we're always so busy that this is the first time that you get to re-meet your old colleagues and new prospects. So it's always a fun event.
Fantastic. We're happy to have you here. So from your perspective, could you provide an overview of the current state of the insurance market and highlight any recent trends and developments that you're excited about?
Yeah, I think it's across the different, segments of insurance, whether you're looking at life or GI or, commercial lines and reinsurance, etc. I think they're all pulling in slightly different directions. Obviously, with the reinsurance market, you're starting to see a cooling now. You're starting to see more capital enter. You're sort of seeing what was moving from has been a very hard market for the last sort of 3 or 4 years now, softening. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing sort of rates falling. We're seeing new capital moving within the market. So that's an interesting dynamic there that the reinsurers and brokers like Aon are needing to deal with. I think from a life perspective, there's been a lot of regulatory change that they've had to cope with. IFRS 17, RBC2 in region, so Hong Kong RBC, which means that they've been very focused on that for the last few years, and now they're coming out of that and they're looking to say, right, well, how do I address this market? How do I address inflation? How do I really compete? China opening up again, which means the Hong Kong life market is reinvigorated. So life's starting to make money again, which has not been the case for almost decades, right? So and inflation hitting the personal lines market, motor, home, etc. That's something else they've got to deal with from a pricing perspective. So a lot of different levers pulling in different directions, which makes it an exciting time.
Yeah, certainly. So with that, with the increasing emphasis on data and AI and analytics, what do you think these technologies are going to transform for the insurance processes and the customer experience overall?
So, I mean, early days for AI, insofar as there's a lot of hype associated with insurance at the moment, and we're seeing some use cases, but it's very low hanging fruit. But what that is going to do in the next 5 years is going to completely transform the industry. It's going to completely transform how you interact with insurance companies. It's going to a lot of the middle back office processes and people are going to be transformed. We're going to see jobs removed. We're going to see virtual agents that actually have personality that can interact with clients, removing the agency model and disrupting the agency model. So the complete operating model is going to be affected by AI, and I think that's going to be the biggest change. And obviously the earliest adopters that can get it right are going to really have a huge significant advantage. So with that, but their barriers to be able to get there is the data. As we all know, data is a huge challenge for a lot of companies, especially on the life side. The amount of legacy data they have to deal with and transform. That's, if they can get that right, if they can harness AI in the right way, then it's really make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah, certainly. So with that said, I mean, in the next 3 to 5 years, what do you predict will be the biggest changes that we'll experience?
So I think that's certainly one. I think that AI completely transforming both the GI and the life space, and seeing adopters and new entries there maybe that can also disrupt. I think we will also see a trend towards aggregation in Asia, towards aggregation platforms, which we've not, it's been very prevalent, started in the UK, very prevalent in Europe, prevalent in North America, but not really disrupt sort of the agency model here in Asia yet. I think we will see that. And then I guess thirdly, in terms of if we're looking at commercial lines and reinsurance, then the natural catastrophe, we're seeing these 25-year events happening more and more often. Sure. How we calculate for that, what that means for capital, how we can do predictive analytics around catastrophes, how we can apply AI to that. So letting people know, letting communities know when a disaster is going to happen, more than 24 hours before it actually happens. That will save an awful lot. That will save lives. That will save property. That will. So I think a focus on that predictive analytics and applying AI to that will also be significant.
Yeah. And anything in particular that the industry should do to help prepare for some of these things?
So I think again, data is probably primarily, but on a wider basis, it's going to come. We're going to have all those changes within the components and the value chain of the insurance companies, and therefore it changes the operating model. Yeah. So they've got to really give it some thought. How is the operating model going to change? What people do we need to make these changes? And how and what skills do we need? So how do we need to train people? What different people do we need? What people can be retrained? And what people will simply leave the industry?
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Yeah, will do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.